Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday to you. Welcome back into Stinky Robot Studios. I'm Michael Smell, where we draw daily, Monday through Thursday, sometimes on Fridays, and work out a piece of art from start to finish here on the channel. Hope you grab a pencil and a piece of paper and join me, or at least watch as we create a new piece of art. Should be a lot of fun. I have to apologize. I'm sorry for the stream being so late. It's one of those days where it rains, it pours. So we started off with a chiropractor appointment this morning. And yeah, so that was always fun, getting cracked and smacked. And then, yeah, we went to go live and I had no iPad. For some reason, I think we lost power here this morning. We had a little bit of weather here in Kansas City, and I think our light flickered on. My computer was fully shut down, and had to reboot it. And it would not connect to the iPad. I struggled with that for a few minutes. Finally worked out my issue and got it working. And then I received a personal phone call that was kind of important that I took. So that's some family stuff there, but we made it. We are live. I was starting to wonder if it was going to be able to happen today, but we worked through it and I am live. So again, I do apologize for being late. We'll jump in there, but I got some good news I want to show you and brag a little bit before we start drawing. I think this is just really cool, so I'll share it with you real quick while waiting on people to show up and join the chat. But check this out. So my son, the other day, he did this cool drawing. He came to me and said, "Hey, Dad, look what I drew." Let me show you real quick, and I'll tell you why it's so cool. All right, let me get out my old... So this is his sketchbook, and he drew this drawing. He's like, "Oh, Dad, check it out. Look what I drew." And it's a broken down robot in an alley. And I saw this drawing and I went, "Man, that's awesome, but it's really familiar." I was like, "Let me show you something." Like a Zane 2022, you can signed it. So he did a broken down robot. It's got wires coming out of him. He's sitting in an alleyway. And I was like, "Man, this." Pulled out my sketchbook from 2008, 2009. So this is before he's born in 2012. So this is before he was even born. Let's slide over to see his. And I pulled this out and I was like, "There's my version of this." Now he's never seen this sketchbook. I had to dig this out of my closet. At least I don't believe he's ever seen this sketchbook. If he had, it hasn't been years since he's seen it. But I was like, that's familiar. I've done a broken down robot in an alley. So that's my version of a broken down robot in an alley. Anyways, I thought that was pretty awesome. He's got wires coming out of his. I've got wires coming out of his neck and through his leg here. And so, yeah, I thought that was always pretty cool. One thing about this drawing will always bug me. His thumb's on backwards. Remember my buddy Joe pointed that out to me when I was at the coffee shop after I got it all inked in. And he's like, "Your thumb's backwards." Like, oh! But anyways, that was a pretty neat sketch. Never painted it. I had a lot of notes around here. I was planning on painting it one day, but it never quite happened. But anyways, I thought that was really neat that he did a drawing one that I've done in the past. And so I showed him he was really excited about it. He thought that was just the neatest thing in the world. So did I. So I figured I'd brag real quick. But yeah, anyways, let's put that stuff away for now. And let's get to drawing, shall we? Alright, still waiting for people to show up here in the chat, but that's not a big deal. We will start without them. If you guys show up here and you want to join us and draw along, by all means, show up, smash that thumbs up button, and draw with us here. Let me get my clock going. Timer on. All right, we're in. Let's see where we're going to start off today. I'm going to draw kind of the old style robot I used to draw. When I first started drawing robots, I started drawing these ones that were kind of more inspired by the vintage toys. It was kind of my first style robot. I haven't drawn one of these guys in a long time actually, so let's do one. And that sketchbook I just kind of flashed you is full of them. That's when that sketchbook's pretty much when I first transitioned into my robot phase. It was an early robot drawing. And I experimented with what I could do with them. And somehow during the process of sketching, like I said, I started with these little vintage toy looking ones that were, you know, loosely inspired by these vintage toys. And that led to coming up with these little mannequin style robots that I was doing them just kind of mocking the shapes and stuff like that. And I just started more and more I drew them, the more I liked them, and so they came more of my stylized robot, which is, you know, the kind of mannequin-esque style robot. Yeah, here we go. Vintage toy style. These guys are fun. Gears and cogs and sparky bits. We've got a decent little collection of vintage toys here in the house. And it's good to have hobbies with the kids, and that's one of them. Collect these vintage toys. I haven't drawn with these guys in so long. It's kind of fun. Got really big in drawing the vintage toys, the spaceships, the rocket. I love the rocket ships. They were a lot of fun to draw. And the boy-inspired robots. Gonna kind of clean up the drawing as we go and mess with the design a little bit. Leave that bottom off. We'll feather that out like we always do. Give him a floppy arm. These toys got these really skinny floppy arms, so we're gonna go with that, I think. Okay. Give me 2 arms here. Just want to. No, that arm would not actually be seen. Respectively, it'd be hidden, so we're not going to mess with it. Might as well just let's hide that one altogether. Really, because if I put another arm in, it's going to need that hand, and we did not leave enough space for ourselves there. So we can skip over that part. Okay, everything kind of lines up respectively. Nice. We're gonna erase this antenna thing. That is not doing it for me. That's coming straight out, but the angle of this needs to be down. I like that to make it a little bit. Nope, I can tell if I step back and take a look at it, I am not centered. We're gonna fix that real quick. Alright. If you're just joining today, we're just kind of doing a vintage inspired robot as of today. Been a little bit different than what I've been doing lately. Kind of looking back into my roots, what I used to do. I draw a lot of these little toy robots. See where we can take him. Clean this up a little bit. Don't want to stick out too far, being on the far side. I'm gonna fiddle with it until I get it right here. 1 second. I'm drawing the right spot, but just a little bit off perspectively, and that's gonna make it look a little funky. So better to catch ourselves now before we get too far into it. A little bit of this is gonna show, like, pretty much. Yeah, I still feel like just too much is showing. We're gonna make it look right. Let's leave that first part off and just put a little bit here with the ball on the end. I think that might look. Try that. That feels more natural. That feels like, I think I was just trying to put too much out there on that end, that outside edge. Looking a little bit funky. Got a little space up here on the top. We'll see if we can do something that here in a second. Little raised panel, it looks neat. And gizmos and gadgets are what make these things really work. So we're gonna have to add a few of those as well. Gotta have the gizmos and the gadgets. Nope. Rewind, think again. I know that's going to be a neat idea, but that is also something that I will struggle with completing in the time frame we're going to have today. So we're going to cancel that and just replace it with some giant gears or something of that nature, because that would have been an awful long frame if I'd done that route. In there. Let's raise these eyes up off. Edges taken off. Rivets are key. Gotta have rivets on these guys. Absolutely can't skip the rivets. Color to him, pretty neat. We're at 20 minutes. That's about on the sketch time. Try to clear my sketches up within the first 30 minutes, allowing us to work time them. For the rest of the drawing, we moving over to the acrylic inks. Lots of them around the head. Sweet. Great. Now we gotta do something kind of neat on the arms. Let's see here. Maybe we have. Double that up. How about that? I like that idea, but we need to double it. Just like so. Yeah. That'll work on that. And I feel like we need something right up on top of this head. That's kind of the last little touching element. So let's see. It's not so vintage toy here, but they are vintage toy inspired. Let's give him a cool little mohawk. I don't know. Just kind of feel it. Those angry eyes. Let's just. Yeah. Here's our little vintage mohawk bot. I like that. Hey, there's that word again. I like it. What's the point of doing little drawings if we're not just having fun with it, right? Sometimes you draw something just because it's cool. Doesn't really need a reason to exist, other than the fact that you want it to. And I want a mohawk bot. So right on, brother. Yep, looking at that sketchbook earlier. Just kind of wanted me to draw something like I used to draw back in the day. Clean this up just a bit. It's all funky at the bottom there. Let's just leave it off. We can run it off. That's not a big deal. We're not drawing the full body, so we can just stop right there, I think. Yeah, that's it. Let's not go. Let's jump to another. Not one more line. We're just gonna stop right. Boom. Get number 3 out. Let's do a quick outline of it, clean it up, and get it prepped for paint. Take my time a little bit on this because I want this to be a nice, crisp line. Let's see, I don't think I'm gonna make that hair. I think I'm gonna make it a metal mohawk. So I may add rivets to the mohawk as well. That might look good. Here we go, why not? No, I like the single one. Just one dot. Go. Hey, WT. Yep, doing vintage today. How's it going? It does have a Jetsons vibe, right? I was definitely a Jetsons kid. Grew up on the Jetsons. I love the Jetsons. I don't know if they show the Jetsons on reruns anymore. I haven't seen that show in so long. Probably didn't help that I fired the cable company and I don't run cable in our house anymore. There's just no point. One of the best things I ever did. We finally cut the cord and got rid of the cable. I thought I'd miss it way more than I do. Don't really miss it, not at all. Scoot that over a little bit. It's a little tight. circle might be a little off center there, but it's all right. We shoot for as close to perfection as we can within the time allowed. One of those things that's the hardest thing about these live streams is I have a tendency to want to put just work a piece to death, and force myself to stop and like just move on, keep it where it's at. Well, that's one of the trickier things about running these live streams. I think we've done a pretty good job, and I've got to become more and more comfortable with it, so less and less an issue every time I go live. Exactly why I started shooting these live streams. Yeah, we're just working today. Looks like it's a bit of a slow stream today. That happens sometimes. It seems like my slower streams always get the most amount of watch time after the video goes live, so let's see how this goes today. I love answering comments, guys. If you ever have anything to say about my work or you want any questions to ask, shoot me a comment. I'll be sure to get back to you. We're also playing around with this new time frame too, so we'll see how going live at 10:30 over the next few weeks works out. And if it seems like later is better, we may be adjusting time frames one more time. We'll also have a summer schedule coming up here in a minute with the school. I got kiddos, so we might adjust again there. Right now my live streams are kind of going around what time I have to pick up kids, because it's hard to go 3 hours if I gotta get kids in the middle of it. So we are going live currently at 10:30 so that I can get to school in time and pick up kids up at 3:10. But come summertime, if the later live streams are more popular, then maybe we'll push things back and we can go live 3, 4, 5 o'clock, just depending on what time my audience wants me to show up. If you have time preferences, by all means, leave me a comment, let me know. It could help me adjust my schedule if I get a bunch of comments for certain time periods. We can change things up a little bit. Right, I think we're just about there. Let's put a few more little details in the rivets, and we're good. We ready to start inking it and putting color and bringing them to life. Just always the funnest part of it. They can look pretty neat as a pencil sketch or as an ink drawing, but once color comes on, they bring out a whole new attitude. Thinking I'd do something, but we're gonna rewind our train of thought here. Let's move that rivet up. Alright, I've got lots of little rivets to add on here. Rivet man. And the forearm here, you just do a little detail work right there. Don't need much. Okay. There we are, the riveted man. Let's erase this up and get started. Quick little eraser buff. And I just realized I missed all the rivets on top of the MoHawk. We can add those real easy, no problem. No problem. let's get the ink ready. Daughter played rearranged Daddy's art supplies yesterday. Alright, let's give a quick little wash on the background. We're going to get fairly detailed with the robot today, so we're going to do a very light, simple wash again. Not necessary to have a completely white, mocked in background. Water. Wetting everything up, get it ink can flow nice and neat. I don't know about neat, but it flows. Nice and wet, how about that? That ink flows nice and kind of doing this real loose. Keeping it thin, I'm blotting out some of it so it gets like a really thick, dark areas in this background. But yeah, for the most part, I'm keeping it real thin. That's just about all we're going to do on the background today. Really easy. I'm going to darken it up, of course, close to the robot one more time, and then I think I'm going to take a splash of yellow all the way around, just a little something something. tighten it up, thinning it up when it gets closer to the top of the robot. I don't want to go fully circling him. Kind of like that. On the front, we're not even going to do the entire outline, just a few locations, like right in here with this where the sharp angles kind of happen. We're going to do it only a little bit down here, just ringing it around. So I think that looks pretty decent. Yeah, I'm going to say that definitely looks decent. If you found the video and you're watching, and don't be afraid to jump in the chat, say hi. Alright. Just a little bit of bright yellow. I think we're actually gonna take the bright yellow and flick it. Got a little bit of flick pattern to it. Just a bit. But it's real bright yellow. So it's different. Yeah, it's actually pretty fun. I'm not going to leave any of the dark tone in this at all today. I'm just going to keep that background real light like that. Kind of sparky. In fact, that's kind of the inspiration. We use like little sparks. So one color I never really do with it, I'm going to add some white. Flake in some white right in with that yellow. We're going to sprinkle it in there. We're going to dry the whole thing with a blow dryer and let it just be like that. I've never really used the white on this. Let's see how that's going to turn out. Might be interesting. Where's my brush? I need a little more yellow right up in here. Yellow needs a little thicker up top. Actually, not even the same color. Grab the ochre, a bright yellow before, so this, I guess we're gonna mix some ochre in here as well. Why not? Why not? Now let's add some white in there. Let's just get crazy with it. Let's get crazy with it. Now, whatever top gives it a really interesting effect in person, for sure. And I have no idea how well it translates to camera. Okay, well, we made a good royal mess today of things. In a good way. And I'll let this dry for a second and clean this board off a little bit. A little messy. Okay, let's pause and blow dry that out. One second. Okay, got most of it dry. We'll just blot off a little bit at the end here. Make sure we don't have any real wet areas. We're going to drag around the painting. Oh. Something different. Okay, so now let's work on the color of him. I feel like we're going to stick with the yellow. Use a little bit of orange as well. Brushes. We can get pretty colorful with these old vintage bots. They always came in random colors. Really neat color palettes. Honestly, my favorites. I love that color palette of like the 50s, 40s and 50s. We'll use the ochre yellow first. Kind of go in his center. Bit of a blunder there, but that's okay. Here. I think we can fix it. Gonna put a pinstripe all the way around. I did it in the head and I didn't do it on the body. But not to worry, that's an easy fix, I believe. We will touch that up. I'm gonna give myself a number 3 real quick. We're gonna make said repairs. Put a little white in there. Do it like about 2 layers of white, maybe 3. Kind of lighten that yellow right back up. And no worries, we'll be able to continue on. Now, like the metal we're gonna do on him, we're gonna do that real blue, like a light baby blue metal color. And that should look pretty awesome right here. Gonna work kind of each color at one at a time here. Fun stuff right there. That's awesome. So you should be able to get an idea of where we're going with it. Alright, we'll go with 2 sets of blues. Thinking the MoHawk is going to be a bright. Yep, that'll do. Okay, let's start with my new turquoise later. Somewhere I've got this new aquamarine we'll use. We will want that later. Black. Need a fast way to find all these colors. King's gray. Come on, where are you at in the color? Green blue, here we go. First we need to finish this orange section, I guess. Be a good idea. Okay, we're just kind of scrubbing some highlights here. While we're at it, before we move to the next section, we're just going to finish one section at a time on him today. Cool. We need to reduce the white in the area we got painted orange. We didn't want orange. Oh, work. Again. Think about the areas we want to go with a lighter blue now. We're going to use turquoise as our light blue. Get it nice and wet. And there we go. Hey, it's Jason. Just noticed you showed up. How you doing, guys? Lock in the blue on the shadow side. I'm trying to leave a little area for highlights on the highlighted side, so I'm leaving some white spaces to add the highlights later. But on the shadow side, we can just go solid blue. Help us when we get to that point. Darken up fairly easier with that darker blue in there. Now we're going to, of course, introduce other colors to help shadow it out. Now we're going to start off with just a single color. Now this little section here will be shadow and highlighted at the same time. So we're gonna start off with dark shadows. Just like we would on the main bot, kind of like down like this. Then we're gonna add that, lighten it up, and allow it to be get some highlighted areas. That very watery light blue in the light area, like so. Sounds like fun, Stace. He's got you running errands today, does he? Here we'll start off with the dark shadow set on this side of it. As it kind of pulls back into the highlighted area, we'll lighten it up. And then all these rivets are going to be same as the paint color, so we're not gonna, right now we're just painting over them. We will come back in a little bit and work on rivets more directly. But right now we're just worrying about getting paint color in with the shadows detail. This is fully in shadow on this side, so we can go back to the full dark blue. Don't have to worry about letting cover the whole thing now. This is our mid-tone color, so we're going to darken it up. We haven't even done the highlights and shadows for the most part yet. So we will be changing the way it looks in a little bit. A whole new color. And I think we're going to go with red arms. I think. Going to match up the MoHawk a little bit. Of course we are. Why not? Just like so for now. Now let's bust out that favorite color of ours, that indigo. And bring that into the shadow side first, kind of just darken the tone. We're using a bit of good water wash in that just to darken tone. That's all we're doing. We don't want to change the color, we just want to darken the tone of it. We're using about a 60-40 water wash, 60% water, 40% ink. Here in a minute we'll switch that up, probably switch that around to 60 ink, 40 water. You'll just, when we push the shadows a little bit deeper in certain sections, what we'll do, you can kind of already see what's happening with me just doing this. You know, it's completely changed the way that blue looks. Yeah, I'm doing good. Had a slow start to the day, and a few things kind of caught me off guard this morning. Sure, so we got a little late start on this live stream. There is the problem going live every day. Life has a way of catching you off guard, throwing in certain wrenches into the works when you didn't plan on it. Such is life. I try to be on time on this channel, but from time to time I will be going live a little bit late, and just the way things happen, try to be on time and prompt. So and darken it up right along the seams. Cool. Now I want real light. Gotta work. So now we're using like almost a using more of like a 15-20% ink ratio, mostly water when I do, kind of washing that in a little bit. We're building this blue up. Should we leave a good amount of cast light on it? Go. We're gonna need to work the rivets here in just a little bit too, put the cast light, the shadow end of the rivets around it while we're working it. We may rub a little gray in there as well, just to kind of accent the metallics of it. Little here. This side, I don't want to get too carried away. Really, blue and wipe it back in. This side, I should go with more of a concentration of blue along the edges, not so much the dark indigo, more of the turquoise color, like so. Before I add the rivet shadow, we're going to add a little highlight to this, which I think we're going to use got the silver pearl. What might that? Silver pearl or gray? That is the big question. Silver pearl or gray? Yeah, let's go with gray. The silver pearl is really just gonna give a shimmery accent to it. That's not what we want. We want the gray. Just gonna try to go with pretty much a raw gray and just blend it in like we do with the other ones. Where we just kind of take a nice little gray with a light, heavy water wash and we scrub in. Kind of blends everything together, gives us a bit of a gray base, gray accent, I guess. Base. We come back and we pull the whites back out of it. It should pop it pretty nicely. Need more gray than that. That didn't last very long. A bit of gray out. Try not to get too heavy with the color. We want to stay real water washed. Scrubbing it in randomly in certain areas. We don't want to cover the entire piece, but we want to be somewhat loose with it. Really thick in certain areas, thinner in others. Ooh, that wind's kicking in today. Right up on that back side of this and kind of grade in. There. Looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Let's see where we want to go with this now. Go ahead with the highlights in before I do the rivets. Before I do the highlights, we need to take the pans grader. I like to work my shadows before I work my highlights. We haven't even done the shadows just yet. We're gonna do that first. Done our dark tones, we've not actually put in our shadows. So, for our deepest shadows, I should say. So we're gonna switch out brushes to something a little more sharp. That one. too much. Let's thin that out. Just kind of hitting up all of these panels. Arm a little bit, shadow out this. Cool. Happy times, I'm liking that. Come along all these panel transitions, pretty much just right on the shadow end of it. Got a little bit of extra separation on those. Cool. Little piece right here. I'm just about done with that. How awesome is that? Pretty darn sweet, if you ask me. We're gonna go red, we're gonna go with that. Try to get a different blue out of this if we can. And yeah, okay, so. I think that needs to be actually direct silver. But now we're looking at what to do with these. Are probably gonna be orange. Now go back to that. Yeah, blue color there, and then red. Or now I can go, yeah. Make this all orange. All right. Look pretty darn good, actually. Mm. But I have an idea how I will change that up and make it look darker. Right now it looks kind of like the front, but not a big deal. We will change this in 2 seconds and give it a little more life. Just a little more depth. We'll be using this for 2 different colors. Maybe not. Let's keep building it as we go here. Because we want to make sure we have a good color separation. We don't want this to look same as we will when this red when we get to it. We'll have the red on the MoHawk. We'll make sure that we stay nice with a good separation of color. The wind is a-blowing out there today. Apparently we got into a big storm tonight. Calling for some pretty heavy storms and chances of tornado up here in Kansas City tonight, so the wind, she is a-blowing. Gotta keep shading this in, make sure we got a nice good dark tone. And a little on the wet side, so we gotta be careful when we blow dry this. If we get too wet, we'll start pulling off the ink off the paper, and we don't want, or the paper, start pulling the paper up a little bit. We don't want to do that, so we're gonna blow dry real quick. Now that we've done that, we're going to come back in with a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow. Bring back our color on top a little bit because we don't want to lose the tone of that orange. It's easy to do when you start overworking it into the dark areas. But with it worked, now we can bring a little of this over top and add some accent color over top. Yeah, that's going to look pretty darn good, if I don't say so myself. Okay. Now just a straight Payne's gray, very lightly. Where I need to have this little panel break. Clean that up a little bit. There we go. Tiny bit of that red back. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. Work it till it's done. Looks good. Now we can step back. Okay. Now we are gonna go there. These rivets as well. Make sure we hit all of our colors before we move on too far. Gray. Turn that gray. Beautiful, just like that. And we'll have to figure out what we're going to do there in a minute. Not jump the gun too quickly. Inside this mouth, we got all these colors out here. We need to go ahead and do that. This needs to be that dark yellow color as well inside this mouth. So let's take care of that for you. We got all the colors out from doing this side, so let's finish that right now while we're at it. Just a corner. Okay, be very careful here. We need a nice, crisp, clean line there. All right. Nailed it. All right. Now we can come in these highlights. Start mocking these in. highlights in here, guys. We out on time. Minute 40, hour 42. Keep on working him here until we are happy with where he's at. I don't know, some I'm playing with the reflections a little bit here right now. I want to add a few areas of bright white. And here, I guess areas are just kind of nice right in there. Up in here. Right up here in the head. Okay. Now to be undone, we need a little bit of that right here into this section. I think I need to push the shadows a bit higher in this area as well. 2 seconds, we're going to do that in the orange before we move on to the red and start pushing the next color set. Our piece. Okay, so we can go back in while we got this red dark earth out. Right up along these lines. Want to clean this up a little bit. Now this red, we're gonna come in through one more time and hit the little red in panes just to push it a little bit further. A little red, mix it with a little bit of this panes. Now we want to very subtle with this. We don't want to overdo this color at all. Subtly done. Easy to overdo that color. Like we had a pretty quiet live stream today, pretty quiet chat. So if you're watching this video after the fact, hit me a favor. Hit that comment section. Let me know. Let me know you watched the video. Let me know what you think. Questions you may have, I can answer them for you. I'd love to. Give me a And if you happen to be watching this video, give me a little love. Hit that thumbs up for me. And if you want to join on and watch me draw every day, hit subscribe to this channel. Watch as we progress and grow in my work as well as your own, hopefully. Okay, guys, we're moving on. Well, we still have the paint out. Let the blue dry. We hit this a little bit of gray. So, back into the Payne's gray. And then the white. Gotta do this quick little pieces that come out of his ears. His little antennae. Now they got a little bit of color in them now. Yeah, Sock'em robots would be awesome. Got a little toy set right down there of Baraka Sock'ems in our collection. Okay, we're moving into a little bit of red next. Let's go with Scarlet. That's fine. It's awesome you're watching. Okay. So that's gonna be red. If that's not obvious. And better make this MoHawk red. Kind of washing this a little bit darker than I normally do. We'll play with it, with the colors here in a minute. Be able to bring out those highlights without any issues. We will save all those rivets until the very last detail. Pop all these rivets out. I got a good red base. What else we got red? We got red arms. I think that's what I decided we're gonna do. So let's put the arms in here. It's Vintage Robot Day here on the Stinky Robot channel. Having a little bit of fun, drawing us some vintage toy action. Of our own making, that is. We're not coming up with it out of our head. But it is vintage toy-esque. Inspired. Kind of the robots I started out doing. Started out with a very toy-like robot that slowly has developed into my mannequin style. I had a lot of fun for years drawing these little guys. So I thought we'd revisit one today. I know it's very bright red, but don't worry, we will tone this all down as we go in here and add our highlights and shadows and all that good stuff. We will pull it all back and make it look, well, hopefully make it look pretty awesome. That's the plan. Anyways, always the plan to make it look pretty awesome. Let's see what we can do, shall we? All right. Everything that's going to be going red right there. Oh, no. It is not everything that's going to go in red. We got these little guys up here. Okay, so those will also be red. And teach my dog how to fetch me coffee. Okay, so looks like we're going to be going for the dark purple to bring in the shadows on this red. Purple, we're going to need to go with bright yellow. And then white for the highlights. So, start off with the darker side of things. I want to get crazy at first. We're just going to do a nice darker red, the shadow side. That in first. A little bit darker now. Give us some color variation here on the sides for sure. And again, now we're gonna go pretty much straight purple shadow. Ready? Bit. Like so. Sweet. Now we're going to do the same thing, repeat over here on the arms next. mixing it here because we don't want some highlights in the arms. Not all of this is going to be in shadow, but a good majority of it is. And darkening and highlighting at the same time, building as we go. Build it as we go. Just take our time and work each section as much as it needs it without overworking it. At least that's our goal. Try not to overwork it. And I'm moving around the piece, touching one little area at a time. Now we're just working right now on shadow details, so we will be pulling out highlights here in just a minute and working with maybe some red and more of an orange color, and of course the whites and the highlights. Eventually working all the way around. This is also, we call this the muddy phase, when things get a little bit on the muddy side of things. But since we're working in one color at a time, each section is going through a muddy phase and then going through the highlights and shadows. If you're new to this channel, you feel like joining the chat, jump in, say hi. Love to talk to you. Always makes it go a little bit quicker when I got someone to talk to. But if you'd rather just watch, not a big deal. I'm just glad you're here. Reach down and hit that thumbs up. Let me know you found the channel. Helps me with the algorithm. Shows me a little bit of love. And I always appreciate it. Looking at my algorithms, I'm realizing that I'm doing fairly decent. I've got about 54% of you guys are subscribed to the channel, which is really good. About 46% of you guys have not subscribed yet, so it'd be awesome if you want to, you're a new person to the channel and you want to hit that subscribe button, give me a follow. Pretty awesome of you. Now we're building just a little bit of highlights here in this area. For the red, we want to kind of go with more of a pinkish orange color in the highlights. Is what we're going for. This is not a jewel, so I don't want to be careful not to paint it as a jewel. I want to add highlights in here. We're gonna do the similar thing up in the hair. We're adding lightning up here. Red. Yeah, we'll do all these little rivets last. The rivets should be. Once we get all these tiny little rivets on, this whole piece is just gonna pop. Rivets. It's amazing what these little rivets can do to a piece. When I'm done, gives it a whole neat little element for sure. Right up in here. The white highlights in last. Right now we're just kind of lightening it up. A little bit of this mid-tones, and we haven't even gone all the way to the dark shadow yet either. We're having pull the Payne's gray in that last. A little more of that red out here. So here's my scarlet. More white as well. Just keep on working it. All right. Get this shape. Pop it out. Highlight one side of it a bit more. So. I'm on the fence about Thursday's live stream. I've been invited over to my buddy's tattoo shop to do an artist. They're gonna do an artist like drawing session amongst all the artists there, and they've asked me to show up and draw with them. So I'm just contemplating it right now. I'll be doing in the evening when I plan on going live on Thursday. But it's always a good chance to go out there and make some new contacts. So I will be announcing tomorrow whether I'm going to do it or not, but I'm definitely considering it. So if I do, we'll either have a early live stream on Thursday, or we will be canceling Thursday's live stream. So stay tuned on that. Watch for what we're planning on doing here on the channel. Big part of me really wants to go live and make sure the stream is going live at the right time. Kind of build what we've started. But it can also be a good opportunity for me to go out and possibly make some new contacts. So we will see. Okay, bringing in these highlights now on these arms. Bring a little yellow into the red when I go to the highlights. We want to kind of transition the red into more of an orange highlighted area. We don't want it to go too white. I don't want to necessarily turn pink on us. But we don't want it to turn too yellow either. So kind of a happy medium. We're trying to look for this happy medium of a pinkish orange without overdoing it. So you're right up here in this MoHawk area. Here we go, here we go. Do the shadow, then we'll bring out the real highlights. We'll be moving on, and then we're going basically into the detail work. I think we're getting pretty good look to a good position right now. I probably use some more purple. Okay. So now let's go with the actual white highlights. Highlights always make a big difference. And gray. There's that little shadow detail right here. I just have to do that in these little big old elbow rivets. And the shoulder rivet. Like so. Gray shadow is just a little bit darker as well. Is a nice little pop. Or clean that up a little bit. You can always feather it in with water. If you put a nice dark shadow line in there, you can go in there with some water, pull it up a little bit. Okay. Where are we at? Let's see. Now we want to go with this ring color, which I pictured as one color, and I'm not sure yet. That's not this. Gonna have to pop. Let's just give it a second. Just think about it. While we're doing that, we got other things to work on. Oh, like for instance, start out with finishing these up. Pop of actual bright red right here. There. Okay. Easy. One light, bright white dot. And same there. Okay. That's done. Done is done. Bright yellow. Right on our lightning bolt, we'll make sure this is a good, nice, super bright yellow. We're going to use the ochre now for the back side of the bolt. Darker yellow. Do 2 layers of that one to make sure it's nice and dark on that. A little bit of like that. Oh, throw the brush across the room. Super light Payne's Gray. Super light. And to the bright white. Just like that. We got a nice, beautiful lightning bolt. That was really easy. Didn't take too much. I'm going to come back with my bright red just a little bit, and a little more bright red in here. Pulled a little too much of it out when I was highlighting. Just a bit more, just kind of there. That looks better. See, it didn't take much. Didn't take much, and made a big impact. Just feathering a little color in that section just to make it look good. Button, quick and easy. Same here. We'll probably add some, well, we got the red color right here. Let's add some red. And some yellow. And we're gonna need some green in there. I'm gonna go with some bright green. Tempted to go with the green around that outside edge, but I don't know if that'll look good. Let a little shadow side each one of these. Kind of like that. We're gonna add a little highlight here too. Not really. Each one of the little things look more like a button or a switch. A little bit of paint, a little bit of red. Do that with each color. I just kind of make a shadow side on each one of these buttons. And I'll have to do the same thing with the yellow, of course. But with the bright yellow, we'll just use straight ochre. Tiny little bit, tiny little bit. Just like so. Now let's do a touch of white. A little tiny white highlight on each one. Now, each one of these needs a... We're going to come back to the turquoise. I don't know. Switch it out for the bright blue. Yeah, let's do that. See if I can make this kind of work with a bright blue. Maybe not so much. It's just going to turn out looking exactly the same as that. So we've got orange, we've got blue, we've got red. Maybe we're going to continue with the red detail all the way around. That will turn out to be that turquoise color. I think that is the answer. Yep. I do believe so. So let's give that a shot, shall we? Let me start out here with this. Ooh. Got a little too happy there with my water ratio. I have to get some fresh turquoise out. I was trying to re-wet my turquoise and just about blown in the color, so we're gonna clean it up, sharpen it up, and finish it up. I'm going a little thicker on this one because I have it's a little bit of overpainting on the orange and the red that I need to cover up just a little bit of, so we're going to kind of get a little thicker on it. Throw that indigo in there like we did before, kind of light. Building it the same way we built the other thing. Now we can keep the indigo always on the shadow side of things. My water ratios properly. Real tempting in this phase to kind of start rushing through it because you're feeling like you're near the end, which we are really close to the end of it, but we don't want to be very cautious. We don't rush ourselves too much in this phase. It's real tempting right here. Kind of push through the end. We are going to push through the end, but we're going to take our time. We're going to do it slow, and we're going to make sure that we are not overworking any particular section. Add a little bit of gray in here now. Just on that highlighted side. Water in there. We can mix it real well. Too much water. Cool. And come back on here with the highlights. Get a tiny bit of Payne's Gray on the shadow side now, just to there's our circle. That looks pretty sharp. And back to the red one last time. Nice. Nice red pinstripe all the way around. And pretty much got left to do is the eyes. Okay, that was a good choice. I like the red there. And we're going to have to go in there and we're going to dig out all those rivets we buried under the ink. Once we get those rivets put in, it's really gonna come to life with rivets. Hide all that shaggy hair of mine. Okay. Red. Need to get my highlight and stripe a little bit of white highlights around that red. Kind of like so. Now this pinstriping is kind of so small that we're not going to get really too carried away with doing a shadow side. We're just going to have little highlights in there like that. Now where the obvious locations are, go in here, some dark red, purple, more purple. Like obviously right here, we're going to need some shit. Corrected. Now let's try that one more time. We're on the shadow side. And like right here underneath this eye. Purple. There's this eye. Here we make this transition, make it darken it. Cool. Not good. I'm gonna go with gray and Payne's Gray on this eye, I think. I'm gonna mix these eyes up a little bit. blending these eyes, and I know I'm going to turn it a lot right here where kind of blending around in a circle, so sometimes I rotate a bit much when I'm doing that. But that's what it requires to blend in a circle, unless you're a contortionist. I'm just kind of adding some character on these eyes a little bit. They're not direct eyeballs or anything, but we're trying to make sure that they've got some... The color shifting character of the eyes kind of lends itself to personality. We're using Payne's Gray, Gray, and White in order to do so. I think it's just about the final detail we're going to need. Or we can jump over and do our rivets. Right, white now. Finish this off. Cool. Here are our eyes. And I'm just trying to finish up all of our little details that we need to quickly get buttoned up so we can get these all buttoned up so we can actually put the final rivets and final details on him. So all these little teeny tiny things that, all these panels and buttons and gizmos and gadgets that make him a vintage bot, we need those on there. Got this one little detail here on the arm. Well, that little thing is, but it's a thing. Payne's gray on the end of it. Wait one more time, try to clean this up. Cool. Highlight there on the end. That's a thing. Alright, we're gonna go with the indigo now for the rivets on the blue. It's rivet time. Get all the blue rivets done first. As always, we do a highlight on the back end of it. Nice, dark. All these highlights, rivets are going to look really going to accentuate the entire vintage robot feel. I'm going to kind of dig them all out and lightly see them all hiding there underneath the ink. This is the part that's really going to come together. With the very end, this is going to be the pop, pow, the wow factor. Thanks guys, I appreciate it. Okay, we're going to fake in a few rivets we forgot to draw in here on the side of the head. Not a big deal though. Easy fix. A little back highlight on each one of those so we know where we want them to go. Now we're going to do the same thing with the red, but this time we're going to use purple. Next, out of where we want each one of these rivets to be. Shadow side, we're actually going to jump into Payne's gray instead of purple. We need to darken it more. Purple here. believe that's all the rivets, but let's double check that. Might add some rivets right up in there, which means I'm gonna have to come in here and go with back to that red. You know what? No, I'm not gonna add it. I'm just gonna add rivets here and here. I'll leave that rivets out. Okay, guys. Double check. I think we got all the rivets in. Last and final phase. Just about to put the final touch. Be done with this bot. Take some nice, super bright white. And put a dot. Each one of these rivets. Perfect white dot. Now we got to be very careful we don't actually touch these white dots because it's going to be thick. They do 2 rounds and just make sure we got a good bright white. So we will touch them twice. On the shadow side, we try to make the dots just a little bit smaller, just a very small tap in. Ah. See how each one of these little rivets is really adds to it. Kind of brings him to life, I think. Always one of my favorite parts about doing these robots is when I pop on the rivets. It just goes, wow. Cool. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna need a second pass on the rivets. I think they're looking pretty good. I think we'll do a tap right there, center. Yep, like that. And I think the eyes are gonna need a little more of a highlight. Nice. Right white here, here. Oh. And the last final detail I think we're gonna need is do the outside run. Use white, not enough on the brush here, so we're gonna get more white out here. We're just gonna final detail, just looking it over and seeing what little details it needs for a little more of a boost. Make sure that we're fully finished to the best of our abilities here. We're just touching that outer line that we like to do. which is where I always stick my head right into the shot. If I can get a nice crisp clean line, I mean, I gotta get my eye right down there into the, right into it. Get up close and personal. Yeah, and with that, guys, I think we're finished up. We got ourselves a little punk vintage robot here. City dark side of the Jetsons. Maybe one last little touch up right in here. Yep. That's it, we're done. Let's sign and peel, reveal, and call it finished here, guys. Well, it doesn't work very well. Let's get the better pen out. Yep. Yeah, we got ourselves a little bite. Let's clean this up. We'll peel it. Where we at here? 2 hours and 53 minutes. Right up against that 3-hour mark, but seems like that's been a pretty good sweet spot for us, that 3 hours, and we're getting real close to nailing that time period every day. It's pretty much what you can expect here on the Stinky Robot channel. It is roughly about 3 hours of draw time. Now, if you're interested in this robot and you'd like to own him or any of my other live streams that I've done, you can jump over to StinkyRobotArt.com. Website right there below my face. I'm also down in the descriptions if you want to hit a quick link over there, down there, and it'll jump you over to my website. On the website, you can see my larger body of work. You can also see prints and other artworks of that I have for sale, as well as these live stream arts. These original pieces of art are for sale over there on the website. You can get it one of two ways. Either you can request a particular painting, and that's really simple. Just go over to my contact page, send me a quick message saying, hey, I'm interested in buying one of your live stream works. I want this particular one. Otherwise, you can jump straight over to the original art section if you're not really don't care which one you get. And these are all sold as blind boxes. So you can purchase one direct, and I will randomly select one for you and ship it out to you. So it's kind of like Christmas Day. You'll never know which one you get until you actually open up the mail and find it out for yourself. But again, if there's a particular one you're interested in, it's really simple. Before you purchase, just jump over to the contact page, shoot me a message, and inquire if the one you want is even still available. If it is available, I will earmark it and make sure that that is the one that you receive in the mail. So after you verify I have that one, all you gotta do is simply go then and purchase it. I'll match up the names and make sure you have the live stream drawing that you want. Each one of these will come matted with an acid-free mat, so all you have to do is drop it in a 9x12 frame and you have yourself a framed piece of original art. But there you go, guys. This one, our little vintage punk. So he's officially done. Yeah. What do you think? I think it turned out pretty awesome. I love it. And hopefully you do too, guys. Until next time, thanks a lot for showing up. Thanks for drawing with me. We will see you here tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. We will be live with another live stream ready to draw. See you then, guys. Bye.